my name is Arifa Delasimo, and I'm making this video today to tell you about a wonderful opportunity you have to invest in yourself and your own future career goals by enrolling in Matthews Tutors. I'm currently a freshman student at Columbia University in the city of New York, an Ivy League institution, where I am studying neuroscience and behavior on the pre-med track. I personally don't believe that I would have had the ability to call myself a Columbia student had it not been for the efforts of Matthews Tutors all those years ago. When I was in high school, I struggled with math, and I knew that I struggled with math. Math filled me with fear, and I wasn't confident doing it. But after just a few sessions with Matthews Tutors, not only was I instilled with the confidence to go forth in whatever math classes I chose to take, but I was able to increase my ACT score by almost 10 points, helping me earn a super score of 35. With those numbers, I was able to get accepted to all 16 colleges I applied to, including, but not limited to, Cornell University, Georgetown University, Tulane University, Duke University, and the college I currently attend, Columbia University. Matthews Tutors is going to do everything that they can to help you. That's what they did for me. But not only are they going to help you be a better student, they're going to continuously check in on you. I know that I personally received a lot of messages of support from them during my first semester of college, which was one of the hardest semesters I've ever experienced as a student. Matthews made sure that I had the confidence to go forth and pursue my own academic goals, but they also helped me increase the numbers too so that I could get where I wanted to be. And I know that they can do the same thing for you if you give them a chance. Thank you.
Hello, Unduka here from Matthews Tutors. I'm here to announce a special campaign that we're about to kick off. It's the 5,000 Students for Math. Here's what the campaign is about. We want to find 5,000 students that fit into any of these categories. Are you a student struggling with math today, or a parent of a student struggling with math today, and you want to help build confidence in your students' math abilities? The campaign is for you. Are you a student that is actually feeling comfortable about math, but you want to go a bit higher? You want to build your confidence level a bit higher? This campaign is for you. Are you an excellent student, but you need a challenge? This campaign is for you. We want to get 5,000 students so comfortable with math that they've built a good foundation for their future academic pursuits. Now, are you interested in joining us in this campaign? We invite you, we welcome you to join us in this campaign. How can you help us with this campaign? Share this video with as many people as possible, and we hope to see students sign up because we want to see every student become comfortable enough with math that they conquer their fear of math. Please join us, and I'm sure you will enjoy the result of this campaign. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you've had a good week so far. It just seems like the week has gone by so quickly. Thank you for joining us today for an hour of math, puzzles, fun, and also learning. So if you're here joining us for the first time, you're welcome. For those that are regular visitors with us or regular viewers, we'll welcome you again, and I'm looking forward to spending the time with you. Have so many good announcements that I have to share with you during this session, so stay tuned. There are going to be a lot of interesting things happening over the next week, so stay tuned, and I'm sure you'll be excited once I share the announcements with you. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. So today's session is going to be focused on mostly 8th grade, 9th grade, up to about Algebra 2. And just as a bonus, I put in an SAT question that I know that a lot of students tend to struggle with. And I'm going to teach you a simple trick to look out for when answering this type of question. So feel free to answer any question. I have quite a few questions here and some puzzles, something light. So I want you to go ahead and try to answer as many of them as you want, and don't be ashamed or don't feel that you cannot be wrong. This is the best place for you to feel safe about being wrong sometimes, and we're going to help you answer the questions. We're going to help you understand the areas of weaknesses, and also when we go through the process, you can ask questions about our approach to solving problems. The approach we're going to share with you are going to be the approaches that we have seen hundreds of students succeed using. So please feel free to ask questions, and I'm looking forward to spending the time with you. All right, we have a few viewers already, so thank you. If you're new in our session, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you're regular and you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? We've given you some good content that you could share with others, so please subscribe and share with your friends that there's this opportunity out there for them to learn. And as we get ready for school and going back to school, I know there's there are a lot of different things going on in that area. So as we get ready, also know that we'll continue to provide this service for you in different ways. So thank you for joining again, and we're going to get started with our first question. So our first question is going to be on ratio and proportion. Ratio and proportion. So we have a farmer raises only pigs and cows. The ratio of pigs to cows in the farm is 4:5. If there are 240 cows in the farm, how many animals are there in the farm? So the way we're going to go about this is I'll give you a chance to try to answer the question, and if you're not sure, if I see a few responses about not being sure how to solve it, I'll go ahead and show you exactly all the steps you need to follow to answer the question. So feel free to answer, and it doesn't matter what grade you are in. This is also an opportunity, if you're in a higher grade, opportunity for you to review content from a lower grade, because with math you're always building on something you've learned before, and it's easy to forget what you've learned in the past, especially if you don't work with it every day. So this is an open forum for everyone to ask questions and answer questions. So, okay, Ogechuku, good afternoon. Thank you for answering. So you say it's 48, all right. So let's see if a few more people are going to answer, and we'll go ahead and walk through the solutions. Any contribution is valid, just as long as you're putting in some effort, you're trying to do some work, I'm good with that. I see 192, okay. So let's look at some key points here. We're looking at a few things. I'm giving you this as a hint so you can see if you're wrong. Pigs, we got pigs here, we got cows, and then we got how many animals. Okay, so pay attention to all of that detail. Okay, let's see if we're going to get one or two more responses, and then we'll go ahead and get started. This one, I'm going to actually show you two different ways to look at it. The first way I'll show you is the easiest way to do it. The second way is also an acceptable way to do it, just takes a lot longer to do. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can answer these questions together. So we have some important keywords here that we have to pay attention to. We have the farmer raises only, so that tells you that you only have two types of animals in the farm. We have just pigs and cows. So let's go ahead and do it this way. Pigs. So we're looking at the ratio of pigs to cows. Pigs to cows is 4:5. The ratio of pigs to cows is 4:5. If there are 240 cows in the farm, how many animals are there in the farm? We're looking at the total number of animals. Here is a simple method you can use. We have information about cows. We don't have any information about pigs, but we know about all the animals. So here's something else I'm going to try to do. I'm going to add these numbers together, and I can see that you're going to have a total of 9. So 9 is going to represent the total number of animals in the farm. So now we need to find out cows to animals. We have 240 cows. This is what we have. We have no information on pigs. So we have 240 cows. So let's go with this. Cows to animals. Okay. Cows to animals is going to give us 5. And we said here that you're going to have a total of 9 for animals. So it's going to be 5 to 9 for cows, the ratio of cows to animals in this farm. So the next thing you're going to do is, now that you know that you have your ratio of cows to animals, then you fill in the information that you're given so that you can find the total number of animals in the farm. The first thing you're going to look at is the number of cows. So I'm going to do that here. Number of cows is 240. And then the number of animals, we don't know. It's what we're looking for is going to be X. So we have two ways of looking at this. We can simply cross product right here. We can simply cross product right here. Or we can say 5 over 9 equal to 240 over X. So they're exactly the same things. You're doing exactly the same thing. And so we're going to go ahead and simplify this. Well, we'll first cross product, which is 5 multiplied by X. 5 multiplied by X equal to 9 multiplied by 240. So now we have to isolate X, which means we need to have X stand by itself. So we're going to divide by 5 on both sides. And so here I can divide 5 by itself. I can divide 5 by this number because 5 can be divided by any number that ends with a 0 or 5. So now you're going to have 48 over here. So X is going to be equal to 9 multiplied by 48. And if you do that, you should get 432. So you have, very good, 432. So that's the first method. I'm going to show you a second method that you can actually use. This is also a good method. It just takes a little bit longer to do. Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to stick with your ratios. So we still have, let me use a different color just so we see a different method. We still have pigs to cows here. And our ratio here is 4 to 5. Now, in order to find out how many animals we have altogether, we know the number of cows, we need to go ahead and find out the number of pigs that we have in the farm. So the number of cows is 240. The number of pigs is unknown. Let's call that X. So now we'll go ahead and create our ratio. 4 over 5 equal to X over 240. And so we're going to cross product this. Let's cross product this from here to here. And so we have X multiplied by 5 equal to 4 multiplied by 240. So we're going to divide both sides by 5 to isolate X. And so this is going to give us 48. So X here is going to be 192. So now we have 240 cows. 240 cows. We have 192 pigs. And now we need to find out how many animals there are all together, which simply means you add. So this is going to give you 2, 3, 4. So it's 432 animals. So you see two different methods. Depends on which one you prefer. They're both good. This I find to be very straightforward, but I'm sure some others may like this. In this case, I don't really have a preference. I use this method here more than I use this method, but it depends on your approach to math. You can do it either way. Are there any questions on this topic? Any questions? Would you like me to go over, if you would like me to go over any part of it again, do let me know and then I can go over it again. If we move forward and you need me to come back, I will do that for you. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our next question. And this is a geometry type of question. A container is 1/8 full of water. After 10 cups of water added, the container is 3/4 full. What is the volume of the container in cups? Thank you, Ogechuku. Looks like you're the only one participating, but that's good. I'm sure more will join as we continue with the session, with the hour. A container is 1/8 full of water. After 10 cups of water are added, the container is 3/4 full. What is the volume of the container in cups? So you're going to apply some geometry here. This is a word problem. I would always try to encourage you to get familiar with word problems because it's going to be the one thing that you need to understand to be successful in math. So let me know if you have any questions on this. If you would like me to show you how to go ahead and do it because you're not too sure how to go about it, also let me know and I'll be glad to do that. So here, our question here again is that a container is 1/8 full of water. After 10 cups of water added, the container is now 3/4 full. What is the volume of the container in cups? How do I start? Okay, so what you need to do is find out. That's a good question. Now, so let's look at the container. And sometimes drawing makes things a little bit easier. So I'm going to assume that it's a cylinder. And we're going to draw something like a cylinder. So let's go with this. We have the cylinder right here. Let's draw a line here and a line here. So here we're starting off with the container is 1/8 full of water. So let's go with this. Here is 1/8. And we have 10 cups added. And the container becomes 3/4 full of water. 3/4. And all of this right here, this volume right here is 10 cups. So from here to here is 10 cups. So you see that in math, sometimes just drawing, I'm sure if you see this now, it'll be a lot easier to figure out the right approach. So now that we've drawn it, you can see that we know where we started from, which is 1/8 full. Now we have 3/4 full after adding 10 cups of water. Our goal here is to find out what is the total amount of water that the container can take, which is your volume. So does this help you get started? If you need some other assistance with this, let me know and then I'll give you some other hints or some other tips on how to proceed. So one thing you're looking for is these 10 cups right here. The 10 cups right here is going to actually be the same as the difference between your starting point and where you ended. So you're starting off at 1/8 and you end at 3/4, and that represents 10 cups. So you have to use that information to determine the complete volume of that container. Okay. So yes, meaning that this helps you. Okay. If there's anyone that is not even sure how to proceed even after that hint, please feel free to ask and then I'll be glad to help you with that. If you have any comments, post them in the chat. I'll keep looking back and forth to make sure I address any comments that you have. Okay, so since I see someone is not sure how to do it, let's go ahead and walk through it together, and then you can ask more questions if you do have any as we walk through it. So we have, let me put this on a number line, and just so I can demonstrate something here. So I have because it's the volume of the container, I'm going to have something from 0 to 1 right here. So this is going to represent the complete volume of the container. Now we start off at 1/8. So let's go here. We have 1/8 here, and then we end here at 3/4. So we need to find out what is this fraction really. This fraction right here, we need to identify that fraction, but that fraction also represents 10 cups. So we're going to be able to do here some proportion and ratio. So what we need to do first is to find the difference between 3/4 and 1/8. We need to find the difference because that quantity here is what represents 10 cups. So let's go ahead and find the difference. We're going to have 3/4. We have 3/4 minus 1/8. That's going to give us the fraction of the container that got filled with water after we started at 1/8. It's going to give us that fraction. So I'm going to use this method that I tend to like. We can just simply do this, do that. So that is going to be 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, minus 4 multiplied by 1 is 4, divided by 4 multiplied by 8, 32. So that's going to give us 20/32. And then we can simplify this, divide by 4, numerator, denominator, we have 5/8. The other way you could have done that is to use your least common multiple, which here will be 8, and you could use it that way. That's fine as well. So now what we have been able to establish is that 10 cups represents 5/8 of the container. So simply means that we have 5/8 is equal to, because remember 8 represents the whole, that's the total volume of the container, and so we need to find that, which is going to be x. So 5 represents the fraction that has been occupied by 1, that has been occupied in this case, and then 8 represents the total volume. So now we're going to go ahead and cross product here. So we have 5 multiplied by x equal to 10 multiplied by 8. And now we can divide both sides by 5. And then you will see that x equal to, let's divide this by 5, you have 1. Divide by 5, you have 2. So x is going to be 2 multiplied by 8, which is equal to 16 cups. So in other words, you're going to have 16 cups of water would be all you need to fill up that container. Are there any questions? Is there any part of it you would like me to go over? Any part of it you'd like me to go over? So let me just do a quick review of what we went through here. The first thing we did here was to find out, first to draw a diagram so you can see a visual representation of what the question is asking you to do. And then you would go ahead and label the parts. So here we have 1/8. This line represents the container being 1/8 full. And we're adding some water, which is 10 cups of water added, and that gets us to 3/4. So we need to figure out the 10 cups, what fraction of the container represents 10 cups. In order to do that, we have to subtract our starting point from our end point, which gives us 5/8. So 5/8 represents 10 cups of water, and so therefore 5/8 is equal to 10/x, because x is going to represent the total volume of that container, and we solve for x using our cross product method, and this is a ratio proportion problem tied in with volume. All right, so that's good. Does anyone have questions? If you have questions, feel free to ask, and then I will try to answer as much as possible. If there are videos on this topic on our channel, so feel free to go look at it as well. I'm sure we'll get it posted soon, a video on volume and word problems with volumes, and that should be helpful to you. And so now we're going to go to the next question. After that, we will most likely have our puzzle. But I'll keep looking at the chat to make sure I address your questions or your comments. So we have used the quadratic formula here to solve 3x squared minus 8x plus 5 equal to 12. So we're trying to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Do you all remember what the quadratic formula is? Do you need help remembering that? Do you need help with what the formula is so you can apply it? Okay, let's see. Do you need help with the let me go ahead and give you a hint on the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is simply x equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So that is the quadratic formula. You have to apply this quadratic formula to the question that you're given. There's something you need to do before you apply it, but I want to see if you can identify that. If you have questions, always feel free to ask along the way. If you're not sure what to do with this, also feel free to ask. So I'll wait for a few of you to try to answer the question. I know this may take some time because you have to do a lot of computation, and this may take some time to do, maybe about 2 minutes or so of continuously working at it. So I'll give you some time. So while you're working on that, I want to remind you that for those that have been in our sessions, I think I announced it last week, so I'm going to announce it again. So next week, we're going to be having some competitions. It's going to be on Tuesdays, we're going to have second graders to sixth graders. On Thursday, we're going to have seventh graders to Algebra 2. So we're going to have Kahoot. The competitions are going to be done on Kahoot, and it's going to be done through Zoom. And there'll be prizes to be won towards the end of our presentation today. I'll share the flyer with you, and we'll post it also on our YouTube channel. And so if you want more information, you can always contact us on the numbers that will be on the flyer. But what's the best thing? If you subscribe to this channel, then you will get a notification. Just in case you forget, you will get a notification 30 minutes before it begins that we're about to go on with our Kahoot competition. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Everyone is going to have a good time. I know there are lots of you that love competition, and you love maybe you just want to make sure you win that award. They're going to be There are going to be prizes for the top 3 participants or competitors in every category. So we're going to have a category for 7th and 8th graders. We're going to have one for Algebra 1, another for Geometry, and another one for Algebra 2, and that's going to be on Thursday. On Tuesday is going to be 2nd graders, 3rd graders, 4th graders, all the way through to 6th grade. And I think it's going to be an exciting time, so invite your friends. The more the merrier. We want as many people as possible to participate so we can all have a good time. So do you all feel like you need more help answering this type of question, or do you feel that this is something you can do, or you need help with this question? Okay, let me give you another hint. Here is the way that you have to think about this type of problems. You cannot just apply this equation the way it is. You have to remember that for you to apply this equation, your quadratic equation must be written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So that means you cannot have 12 the way it is. You have to have a 0 on the right hand side. You cannot have 12. So the first thing you're going to do is to actually find a way to make sure that 12 is taken out of the right hand side. And so we're going to move it to the left hand side so that we have a 0 at the right hand side. Now we look at this equation here, 3x squared minus 8x plus 5 equal to 12. But I need 0 on the right hand side. So what do I need to do to 12 to make sure that I have 0 on the right hand side? So let's go ahead and start from that point. So we start with 3x squared minus 8x plus 5 equal to 12. But I need to make sure there's 0 on this side. So I'm going to simply get rid of the 12 by subtracting 12. And because I have an equal to sign, whatever I do on that side, I must do on the other side. So I subtract 12 here as well. So now I have 3x squared minus 8x, and then we have 5 minus 12, which is minus 7 or negative 7 equal to 0. So now we have the equation in a form that we can actually apply the formula that we're given. So with this in mind, we're going to compare this new equation right here with this general equation over here, and then we're going to find the values of a, b, and c. So now we look at this, we can see that a is equal to 3. A is simply the coefficient of your quadratic term, b is the coefficient of your linear term, and c is your constant. So b here is going to be negative 8 because your linear term is x. B is equal to negative 8, and c is equal to negative 7. So now we have every value we need to apply our quadratic equation. So now let's go ahead and do that. We're going to have x equal to negative b, so that is negative of negative 8 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that is negative 8 squared minus 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by negative 7. And so we're going to divide that by 2a, which is 2 multiplied by 3. So now let's go ahead and simplify. We have x equal to negative of negative 8 is positive 8 plus or minus the square root of, so we have negative 8 squared, that's going to be 64. 4 multiplied by 3, 12, plus 4 multiplied by 3, 12. 12 multiplied by 7 is 84, and we're going to have negative negative, so that is going to be plus 84 divided by 2 multiplied by 3 is going to give you 6. Let me see, I'm looking at negative 8, 8 square root of 2. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Though, let's go through it together, and then maybe you'll be able to ask your question differently. So now we have all of this set up. Then we're going to come over here I just want to make sure we don't just have white space over here. So we're going to come over right here, and we have x is equal to 8 plus or minus 64 plus 84 is 148, square root of 148 divided by 6. Now we can write the square root of 148 as a radical. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to use our factor trees. And so we have 148, we divide by 2, we have 74. 74 we divide by 2, we have 37. Now because we're trying to realize a radical, so we have a pair of 2's and we have 37 by itself. So this is going to give us 8 plus or minus, because we have a pair of 2's, we're going to just have 2, and then we have 37 is a single item here. We have square root of 37 divided by 6. So here you can simplify, you can actually factor 2 out of here. So that is going to be 2 factored out. You're going to have 4 plus 1 square root of 37 divided by 2 multiplied by 3. And then you can simply cancel the 2's out. And then you simply have 4 plus, this is minus here, plus or minus the square root of 37 over 3. So that is your answer. You can write it in two ways. You can say x is equal to 4 minus square root of 37 over 3, or x is equal to 4 plus the square root of 37 over 3. So that's all you need to do to get the value here. This one is a more complex one, because I wanted to give us an opportunity to try something that is a bit more, more challenging in terms of applying all the rules of the quadratic formula. I hope this is clear. Do you have any questions on this? Any questions on this? Is there any part of it that does not make sense that you would like some help clarifying? All right, Cheryl, yeah, you're on it. That's good. That's good. So let's go to our puzzle. If there are no questions, as we walk through the puzzle, if you have questions, please feel free to post them, and I'll be happy to answer them for you as well. So we're trying to create an equation using the numbers below, rather, and mathematical symbols. It's going to make you think a little bit. So we're looking to use the numbers and the symbols to create an equation that uses all of these numbers, but you can only use them once. Every single number or symbol is going to be used once, and we're going to create an equation that is correct using that information. Meanwhile, if you have questions on anything we have done so far, feel free to ask. I'm looking at the chat right now to make sure that while you're walking through this puzzle, I can help you answer those questions. If you're new to our session, please subscribe so that when we're going live next time, you'll get a notification. And also when we post new videos on topics that you may have requested or that we think will be good for students, you'll also get a notification. So anybody want to try this puzzle? We're trying to create an equation. We're going to use all of these numbers and these mathematical symbols to create an equation that makes sense. Let's see. Anybody want to try? Anyone feel like they're close or you can't make any sense out of it? Okay, while you're working on this, let me share with you some information on the competition I described earlier. While you're working on this, don't know where the 4 goes. Okay. All right. So let me give you a hint before I show you the flyer. You can actually use exponents. You can use exponents in this. Feel free to use it. I'm sure it's going to fit somewhere. So feel free to use exponents to get your answer with 4. And so just help us. Okay. Just help us. Let me just give you 2 numbers, the set of numbers that go together. These numbers go together, these numbers go together. That should give you a hint. I think I've given you a lot of hints. Not sure where the 4 goes. So you can have exponents here. So here I'm going to simply say, let me give you a teaser here. 7 plus 9 is equal to 4, and then there's going to be a 2 somewhere. So where does the 2 go? 7 plus 9 is equal to 4. You can use exponents in this question. So 7 plus 9 equal to 4. And let's go ahead and let's see. It's going to be 4 to the power of 2. So that's your exponent. So you can see here that we've used 7, 9 plus equal 4 and 2. So we used everything that was given to us. So 7 plus 9, okay, very good at Daisy. So 7 plus 9 is 4 to the power of 2. Very good, very good. It's like you ladies are on fire today. That's very good. I like to see the participation. So now let me show you this is our summer competition. We're going to be having it next week Tuesday, next week Thursday. And you can see the grades here. We have 2nd to 6th grade on Tuesday. It's going to start at 1 p.m. and we're not going to do all of it together. We're going to do 1 grade at a time, and as we're going to do everything through Zoom. So you would log into our Zoom, most likely 10 minutes earlier. And as soon as you log in, we'll be able to get you put in different groups so that when it's time for your competition, we can get it going. So Tuesday is going to be 2nd to 6th grade from 1 p.m. We're looking at 1 p.m. to about 2:30ish or thereabout. And also for Thursday, we're going to have 7th grade and 8th grade together. Then we have Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. And that's also going to start at 1 p.m. All times are Central Standard Time. So if you're in the East Coast, take note of that. We'll update the flyer to just indicate that it's Central Standard Time. And so it's so the way you look at it is whenever we start our regular sessions is when the Kahoot would start. And if you want to participate in the Kahoot session, please go ahead and send your names to that email address or a text to that phone number, and we'll be able to get you prepared and get you all ready to take part in the competition. And most importantly, there are going to be some prizes to be won. So invite all your friends. Invite, if you're on a basketball team, invite all your teammates. If you're on a football team, invite your teammates. Or if you're in a church choir, invite your choir members as well. Just anyone that you think will have a good time, just go ahead and invite them. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. I know when you start seeing the prizes, it's going to motivate a lot of people to actually participate. All right, so If there are any questions on this, please feel free to ask. If you want to know what the prizes are, I'll just tell you that the prizes will be announced soon. But you have to subscribe to our channel to see that information. But we'll also make sure that if you go to any of our social media platforms, you'll get this information as well. Okay. So now we're going to our linear equations. We want to find the equation of a line that is perpendicular to this line, but also passes through the points -4, 1. So we want to find the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line 3x minus 5y equal to 10 and passes through the point -4, 1. If you need a hint on this one, or you can feel free to ask, I'll give you a hint. So this is a topic, it's more of an Algebra 1 topic, but also shows up in geometry, and you may actually use it again in Algebra 2. So as long as you're in high school, this is a topic that you should be familiar with, and I'll see how. Okay, you need a hint. The first thing you need to do is for you to be able to do anything like this, you always need to start by writing your equation in the form y equal to mx plus b. Without doing this, it will be almost impossible for you to make any sense of this question. So first thing you're going to do is write your equation in the standard linear equation format. So y equal to mx plus b. Once you do that, you should be able to, then you're going to use your slope. Very important here. Slope is going to be very important for you to answer this question. And then we'll take it from there. Let's see what you have. If you need another hint after this, ask again and I'll provide the hints. Everyone feel okay about this question? This is Algebra 1, like I said earlier, but it's also something that I've seen a lot in Algebra 2. So this is one topic that spans through your high school experience. And you may even see it in 12th grade math, pre-calculus, calculus. You may actually need to apply the knowledge here. So I'm going to make sure that you understand it when we go through the process of solving it. Anyone not sure even what to do? Find y. Yeah, we're going to isolate y because we want to write it in the form y equal to mx plus b. So we have to isolate y first. Okay, yes, you're on the right path. Adeza, you're on the right path. So let's go ahead and try to find the value of y first. Is anyone making some progress on this question, or you feel stuck? Okay, let's go ahead and try to get the value of y. So we're going to write this equation in the standard linear equation form, so which is y equal to mx plus b. So we're going to start by doing that. So let's go ahead with our original equation first. So we have 3x minus 5y equal to 10. So one thing you can do is to isolate y, the simplest thing to do is to go ahead and subtract 3x from here, and then you subtract 3x here as well. But I'm going to pay attention to my format right here. So I'm going to have negative 5y. I need my x to come first. So it's going to be negative 3x plus 10. So that's the first step you're going to take. The next thing you're going to do is to divide the whole equation by the coefficient of y. So coefficient simply means the number to the left of the specific variable you're after. So we're going to divide by -5, and so we're going to divide every term here also by -5. So we have y equal to 3/5 x minus 2. So that is our equation. These two equations are exactly the same thing. So we have written this equation in the standard slope-intercept form. That's what this form is called. It's your slope-intercept form, and this is your intercept. Now, we have something important, and that is the line we're looking for has to be perpendicular to this line that we have. The rule for that is that if two lines are perpendicular, their slopes are negative inverses of each other. So what that simply means to us is for this new line, let's call it new line, the slope is going to be the negative inverse of this line that we have. So let's go ahead and get the inverse first. The inverse of the slope here is 3/5. So your inverse is 5/3. And let's look at the sign right here. The sign here is positive. So we're going to change the sign to negative. So it's your negative inverse of the slope of the line that you already have. Okay, now that we have that, we need to go ahead and create the equation. There is a formula to do that, and that is written this way. Y minus y1 equal to slope, which is your m, x minus x1. Now you see why you need to find the slope first. So let's go ahead and figure out what our x1 and y1 are, because those are the ones we pay attention to. Here our slope m is equal to -5/3. x1 is -4, y1 is 1. So x1 here is -4, y1 is equal to 1. So now we'll go ahead and plug all of these values into that equation, that formula, and we have y minus 1, see that, equal to -5/3 x minus -4. So we now have y minus 1 equal to -5/3, and we have x plus 4. Now you can leave it in this form, it depends on how the question is written. So this is a format you can leave it in. Another method may require you to write it in slope-intercept form. And so to do that, you're going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides. You're going to add 1 to both sides. So it's going to be y minus 1 equal to -5/3 x. Actually, we added 1, so we don't have a y minus 1 anymore. So it's going to be x plus 4 and then -1. So now we're going to go through the steps of simplifying this expression on the right hand side. So y is equal to -5/3x minus 20/3 minus 1. So you have some options here. Because you have 3 here, you have 3 as your denominator. You can now rewrite 1 as a fraction with a denominator of 3. So this is going to be y equal to -5/3x minus 20/3 minus 3/3. And so now we're going to have, now we can simplify, group common terms together. So y is equal to -5/3x minus 23/3. And that is going to give you the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the line that we were given. Are there any questions? Okay, that's very good. Yeah, Cheryl, good job on that. So that's simply what you have to do. When you see a question like this, don't get flustered, don't get confused. This is just the process you follow. The first thing you want to do is to rewrite the equation in the form y equal to mx plus b. Then you'll take note of the slope of that line, and because we're looking for perpendicularity here, you're going to find the negative inverse of that slope and then apply this formula to all those points. You have your x1, y1, and then you have your slope, and just simplify, and you can get your y equal to mx plus b form. So here we decided to write it in the form y equal to mx plus b, or we call that our slope intercept form. If you were just told, if it was multiple choice, you may most likely find a question that is written, you may find an answer written in this form. So whenever you're taking your multiple choice test, make sure you pay attention to the form that the answer is in, so you know how far to go with your answers. Okay, so we're going to do, let's see, we have a few more minutes. So let's try to do one SAT question, and we're going to do a puzzle, and then we have a final announcement. So let's go with the SAT question. So before we get to the SAT question, let me just make the announcement, and then I think then if you have questions, you can also ask about that. So we have a special announcement. Starting next week, we're going to be working with some friends in our local community. They're engineers. They're working for Smith & Borgers Process Safety Consulting Company. And they're going to be helping us with our math sessions online. And here's the great thing about it. The great thing about it is, if you look at our session today, we had students from 8th grade all the way through 12th grade, but we're going to actually shrink it so that we have only students, you have Algebra 1 students together, Algebra 2 students together, Geometry students together, and then we have smaller, for the hour, we're focusing on only the topics that you care about. I know for some of you may think, oh, this is Algebra 2 stuff, I don't really care about it. But for that hour that you're going to be with these engineers, they're going to be working on things that are very, very focused on your grades. So you can see on the screen here, you can see that 3rd and 4th graders are going to learn together. 5th and 6th graders are going to learn together. 1st and 2nd graders learn together, and so on and so forth. So it makes the experience more enriching to all of you who are participating. There's going to be a slight change as well. We're going to do this on Zoom, so you can actually ask questions to them. You know, it's going to be a fun time. I'll log in just to see how things are going as well. What I want you to also benefit from is, because you are having it in a Zoom session, like right now, sometimes you have a question, you can't really ask it. Maybe you don't like to type a lot of stuff, but with the Zoom session, you can ask any question you want, and they are engineers. So if you are someone who's interested in becoming an engineer, you can always ask them, oh, what do I need to do to be an engineer? I'm sure they'll be happy to share whatever wealth of knowledge they have about their industry and their field to you. I know this session here is mostly those in high school, so you can start asking them the kind of subjects you should be thinking about, what type of engineer you'd like to be. You can ask them anything. So take advantage of this opportunity. We're looking forward to you guys taking advantage of that. It's starting next week on August the 3rd, and they're helping us in our campaign, which is to help 5,000 students improve their math skills and also improve their grades. So if you are a B student, we want you to become an A student. If you're a C student, we'd like you to become a B student, or even an A student. So this is a great opportunity. I want you all to take advantage of it, and I know they're excited about it. This is something they're looking forward to. So please go ahead and let your parents know, or your friends. Invite your friends. In our Zoom session, we can have as many students as we want. So go ahead and invite your friends, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you during that time. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get our last puzzle before we end the session. So this is not mathematical at all. So this is just a brain teaser. There are 3 gentlemen in the meeting: Mr. Blue, Mr. Green, and Mr. Brown. They were all wearing blue, green, and brown ties. Mr. Blue says, "Did you notice that the color of our ties are different from our names?" The person who's wearing the green tie says, "Yes, you're right. So who is wearing what tie?" So you have three gentlemen, blue, green, brown, and we're trying to find out who is wearing what tie. So I'm just going to draw something on this side so that we can use that to make some decisions. Also pay attention to this. Did you notice that the color of our ties are different from our names? So pay attention to that. So we got here Mr. Blue. Well, let me use the same color they use. Let's assume this is blue. Okay, Mr. Blue, it's not blue. Then we have Mr. Green. And we have Mr. Brown. And we're trying to link them up to the different ties. So let's go with blue tie here. We have a green tie. And then we have a brown tie. So who's wearing what tie? So Mr. Brown is wearing what? What's Mr. Brown doing? So you need to tell me Mr. Blue is wearing what color of tie, Mr. Green is wearing what color of tie, and Mr. Brown is wearing what color of tie. As you walk through this, don't forget next week, the Kahoot competition. Also next week, we're going to have some engineering friends help us with our math, and they're going to be able to answer any question that you may have. So let's see. I see Mr. Blue is wearing brown. Okay, someone said that. Mr. Green is wearing blue. And Mr. Brown is wearing green. Okay, that sounds interesting. Mr. Brown is wearing green. That's another answer. All right, keep going. Let's keep going. Let's get a few more responses on this. Anybody else want to try? Mr. Brown is wearing green is what I see. All right. We're just about out of time, but I'll give us a few more minutes so that we can round this up. Okay, so let's try to draw some lines to connect these people with the color of ties that they're wearing. So Mr. Blue says, did you notice the color of our ties are different from our names? The person who's wearing the green tie says, yes, you are right. So therefore, I can tell that Mr. Blue, what is Mr. Blue wearing? Mr. Blue is wearing what color? Did you notice that the color of our ties are different from our names? The person who's wearing green, the green tie, is probably not. The person who's wearing the green tie says, yes, you are right. So how is that possible? So Mr. Blue is wearing brown. Is that what I'm seeing here? Do you all agree with that? Mr. Brown is wearing green? Okay. So Mr. Blue is wearing brown is what I see. That is very correct. So Mr. Blue has the brown tie. Mr. Brown is wearing the green tie. And Mr. Green is wearing the blue tie. So that is very good. All right, that's our puzzle for today. And so this has been fun. So let's just recap our announcements. We have next week, we're going to have some engineers helping us with helping us with some math, and I want you to feel free to ask them questions. It's going to be on Zoom, but we're going to stream it on YouTube and perhaps Facebook as well, and so that you can also ask your friends who may not have Zoom to join and participate through Facebook. But we want as many people as possible to be on Zoom so you can ask direct questions. It's going to be more interactive for you all. You can ask them as many questions as you want, and they're looking forward to it. So here at the Times, we will provide more information on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter accounts. So get ready for that announcement. And the next thing here is that we have a Kahoot competition. It's going to be fun. I want you guys to invite as many people as possible. Come enjoy yourself. There are going to be prizes to be won. Also, this information will be on our different social media channels. And so feel free to go there, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. You will get all of this information. And so I'm looking forward to next week. Next week is going to be a great time. And so please join us, invite your friends, invite your neighbors, anyone you can find that just needs something fun to do since we're all indoors. So go ahead and have a good time. And I want to thank you again for just being a part of what we're doing and being part of our campaign to help 5,000 students improve their math skills and get better in their math grades as well. So thank you for that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and God bless you.
Hi. Hi, my name is Arifa Adelosimo, and I'm making this video today to tell you about a wonderful opportunity you have to invest in yourself and your own future career goals by enrolling in Matthews Tutors. I'm currently a freshman student at Columbia University in the city of New York, an Ivy League institution, where I am studying neuroscience and behavior on the pre-med track. I personally don't believe that I would have had the ability to call myself a Columbia student had it not been for the efforts of Matthews Tutors all those years ago. When I was in high school, I struggled with math, and I knew that I struggled with math. Math filled me with fear, and I wasn't confident doing it. But after just a few sessions with Matthew's tutors, not only was I instilled with the confidence to go forth in whatever math classes I chose to take, but I was able to increase my ACT score by almost 10 points, helping me earn a super score of 35. With those numbers, I was able to get accepted to all 16 colleges I applied to, including, but not limited to, Cornell University, Georgetown University, Tulane University, Duke University, and the college I currently attend, Columbia University. Matthew's Tutors is going to do everything that they can to help you. That's what they did for me. But not only are they going to help you be a better student, they're going to continuously check in on you. I know that I personally received a lot of messages of support from them during my first semester of college, which was one of the hardest semesters I've ever experienced as a student. Matthews made sure that I had the confidence to go forth and pursue my own academic goals, but they also helped me increase the numbers too so that I could get where I wanted to be. And I know that they can do the same thing for you if you give them a chance. Thank you.
Hello, Unduka here from Math is Tutors. I'm here to announce a special campaign that we're about to kick off. It's the 5,000 Students for Math. Here's what the campaign is about. We want to find 5,000 students that fit into any of these categories. Are you a student struggling with math today, or a parent of a student struggling with math today, and you want to help build confidence in your students' math abilities? The campaign is for you. Are you a student that is actually feeling comfortable about math, but you want to go a bit higher? You want to build your confidence level a bit higher? This campaign is for you. Are you an excellent student, but you need a challenge? This campaign is for you. We want to get 5,000 students so comfortable with math that they've built a good foundation for their future academic pursuits. Now, are you interested in joining us in this campaign? We invite you, we welcome you to join us in this campaign. How can you help us with this campaign? Share this video with as many people as possible, and we hope to see students sign up because we want to see every student become comfortable enough with math that they conquer their fear of math. Please join us, and I'm sure you will enjoy the result of this campaign. Thank you.